Happy couples have a safe word, not for the bedroom, for the conversation about intimacy, the conversation that most couples avoid until it explodes, the conversation that turns into fights, into silence, into resentment, into two people sleeping in the same bed but living in different countries. I have worked with couples for 15 years, and the ones who last, they do not avoid the conversation. They do not dread it. They have a system, a code, a way of talking about the most vulnerable thing in their relationship without either person feeling attacked, pressured, or broken. They call it the safe word strategy. And today I am going to teach it to you, not so you can get more sex, so you can stop being afraid of your own wife, so you can stop walking on eggshells, so you can stop feeling like a beggar and start feeling like a partner. This is not theory. This is what actually works. So listen, and then do it. If you are ready to stop being scared of the conversation and start having it, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. Next week, I am breaking down the exact phrases that make her feel safe enough to want you. You do not want to miss it. The problem: you are speaking two different languages. You say, "We need to talk about our sex life." She hears, "You are failing me." You say, "I miss being close to you." She hears, "You are not giving me enough." You say, "Can we work on this?" She hears, "There is something wrong with us." You are speaking English. She is hearing accusation, and accusation makes her shut down. It makes her defensive. It makes her feel like she is the problem, and when she feels like the problem, she cannot be the solution. She can only be the victim or the villain, and neither role makes her want to be close to you. The safe word strategy fixes this by creating a new language, a language that is neutral, a language that is safe, a language that removes blame and replaces it with invitation. It is not about what you say. It is about how you say it. And more importantly, when you say it. And most importantly, what you do before you say it. Because the safe word is not just a word. It is a system, a ritual, a daily practice that builds the foundation for the conversation you actually need to have. The foundation. Build safety before you speak. Most men try to have the conversation when they are already frustrated, when they have been rejected 3 times, when they feel unwanted, when they feel like a failure, and they bring that energy into the conversation. That energy is pressure. That energy is need. That energy is desperation dressed as communication. And she feels it. Her body feels it. Her nervous system feels it. Before you open your mouth, she already knows you are not safe. Because your safety is not in your words. Your safety is in your energy. Your safety is in your history. Your safety is in whether you have made her feel seen, heard, and valued in the hours and days before the conversation. The safe word strategy starts 24 hours before the word is spoken. It starts with the daily check-in, the moment when you ask about her day, not as a greeting, as a genuine question. What was the best part? What was the hardest part? What do you need from me? And then you listen, without fixing, without solving, without turning it into a conversation about how you can help. You just witness, you just hear, you just let her feel seen. And that seeing, that hearing, that witnessing builds the emotional bank account. It makes deposits. It creates credit. It builds the foundation of safety that makes the conversation possible. Without that foundation, the conversation is a withdrawal from an empty account. And empty accounts get overdrawn, and overdrawn accounts get closed. The safe word: create a code. Happy couples do not say, "Let's talk about sex." They say green light, or check engine, or temperature check. They have a code word, a neutral phrase, a word that means, "I want to talk about us," without saying, "I want to talk about what you are not giving me." The code word removes the charge. It removes the blame. It removes the expectation. It creates a pause, a moment where both people know what is coming, but neither person feels attacked. Because the word is not about her. It is not about you. It is about the relationship. It is about the space between you. And that space is neutral. That space is shared. That space is something you both care about. When you say the code word, she knows what you mean, but she does not feel the pressure. Because the word is not a demand. It is an invitation. It is not, "We need to talk." It is, "I want to check in." It is not, "You are not enough." It is, "I want us to be closer." And that shift, that tiny shift from accusation to invitation, changes everything. Because she is no longer the problem. She is the partner. She is no longer the gatekeeper. She is the teammate. And teammates solve problems together. Gatekeepers just say yes or no. The timing, never in bed. The worst time to talk about intimacy is when you are trying to have it. The second worst time is right after you have been rejected. The third worst time is when you are both tired and stressed and the kids are screaming and the house is a mess. Happy couples have the conversation at a neutral time. In the morning, over coffee, on a walk, in the car, when both people are calm, when both people are fed, when both people are not in the middle of the daily chaos. They schedule it, they plan it, they treat it like a meeting that matters, because it does. It matters more than the bills, it matters more than the schedule, it matters more than the to-do list. And when you treat it like it matters, she feels like it matters. She feels like she matters. She feels like the relationship matters. And that feeling, that sense of priority, that sense of being valued is what makes her want to show up. Not because you asked, because you created a space where she could. The structure: 3 minutes, 3 topics. Happy couples do not have long, meandering conversations about intimacy. They have short, focused check-ins. 3 minutes. 3 topics. What is working? What is not working? What do we want to try? That's it. No blame, no history, no scorekeeping. No, you never, or you always. Just present, just forward, just collaborative. What is working builds gratitude. It reminds both people of what they love. It creates positive momentum. What is not working creates honesty without attack. It frames the problem as shared. It removes the finger pointing. What do we want to try creates possibility. It makes the conversation about growth instead of repair. It makes both people feel like they are building something instead of fixing something broken. And that building, that growth, that forward momentum is what makes the conversation feel safe. It makes it feel productive. It makes it feel like something you want to do instead of something you dread. The follow-up: action, not words. The safe word strategy does not end with the conversation. It ends with action. Small action, daily action. A touch that does not lead to sex. A kiss that does not ask for more. A hug that is just a hug. A text that says, "I was thinking about you," without expecting a response. These small actions build the bridge between the conversation and the connection. They show her that you heard her, that you understood her, that you are willing to meet her where she is instead of demanding that she meet you where you are. They show her that the conversation was not about getting something. It was about giving something, about building something, about becoming something. And that consistency, that follow-through, that daily practice of connection without extraction is what makes her trust you. And trust is the only thing that makes a woman want to be close. Not words, not promises, not plans. Trust, built daily, built slowly, built brick by brick, until the wall comes down and the connection flows. So what do you do with this? You create your safe word. Not tomorrow, today. You choose a phrase, a code, a neutral word that means, "I want to check in." You tell her about it. You explain why. You ask for her input. You make it collaborative. You make it ours instead of yours. You start the daily check-in. You ask the 3 questions. You listen without fixing. You build the foundation. You schedule the conversation. You choose a neutral time. You use the 3-minute structure. You focus on what is working, what is not, and what you want to try. You follow up with action, small action, daily action, connection without extraction, presence without pressure, love without strings. And you watch what happens when the conversation becomes safe, when the bed becomes a place of connection instead of performance, when she stops dreading your touch and starts wanting it. Not because you asked better, because you became safer, because you became whole, because you became the man she feels safe being close to. If this hit you in the chest, hit that like button so more men who need this can find it. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you want to keep getting the truth that most people are too scared to say. Drop a comment below with the word code if you are ready to create your safe word. And if you know a man who is terrified of talking to his own wife, send this to him. He deserves to know that the conversation does not have to be scary. Until next time, stop avoiding. Start connecting. This is Mind of Connection. I will see you soon.